Hi, second graders. It's Mrs. Sylvester. I'm here to help you with your grammar lesson today. Today's grammar lesson ties really more to reading, but just some extra good practice. And we will be going over some special text features. And we have learned about these in second grade before. And on your screen, you see a list of different text features, usually more common in nonfiction text. I have a few books with me right here. You can see some of these text features in fiction stories. For example, Table of Contents. This is Henry Heckelbeck Gets a Dragon, and it's a chapter book, a actual fantasy story, and it does have a table of contents. We know another popular simple text feature is illustrations. So of course we see lots of illustrations in fiction stories, as well as chapter titles and headings, but more so in nonfiction text. Some nonfiction texts can have illustrations instead of photographs. This is one called Animals in Winter. But I want you to understand that the whole reason why authors include these features just means something special, is to help us as a reader understand the information better and also make the information presented in the book in a more exciting way. Here is a book about knights and castles using a Lego theme. And there's a lot of information. So an author will maybe choose to break up that information instead of just having it all written down on one page, but having different text boxes. This text box is actually in the shape of a shield, and it says Knight Fact. So as a reader, I know that it's kind of more fun, and my eyes are drawn to that information. So let's go through some of the basic text features, and then you'll be able to practice identifying them on your Google Slides, but I hope you do what I did and find some books you have at home and look for those text features, both in some fiction stories, but also nonfiction text. So the first one is guide words, and that would be in a very special text called the dictionary. They let you know which words will be on that page in the dictionary, but even some nonfiction books that aren't dictionaries, there might be some words at the top that could give you a hint, but we would call those more like a heading. So battle art. I know all the information on this page will be about art in battles that the knights were having. The title page, that is in all books, and that will just let you as the reader know what the title of the story is and also some information about the publisher. Table of contents we just went over. How could this be helpful to me as a reader? Well, if I want to actually jump to one section and not read it starting on the first page, I can use the table of contents, and the chapter title is usually on the left, followed by what page that section or chapter starts on. So it can be very helpful, and the table of contents is always in the beginning of the book. Sometimes it will just have the word contents instead of table of contents. Now, an index is similar to a table of contents because it does have the page numbers of where a topic or word is in the text, but it is found at the end of the text. Let me see if my story I also brought. Now, this is kind of like a nonfiction book about Ninjago, even though we know Ninjago is made up, but it's giving me real information about the made up topic of Ninjago. So yes, there is an index, and if I really wanted to know, well, I don't have that much time to read today, but I want to read about one of my favorite ninjas, Jay. It lists all the different pages that the ninja Jay is found on. So an index can be helpful to a reader to locate information quickly. Also at the back of a text, sometimes there is a glossary, and instead of telling what page number that word is on, it will give the definition. So it's kind of like a mini dictionary for you as a reader, some important words for you to understand. So I mentioned headings. Headings can give you an idea of what that section will be about. Sometimes the text will have a major chapter title and then some smaller headings. Let me find a good one here. Let's see. Well, okay, so this is all about, as I said, knights. Let's see if I can make my screen bigger so you can see me for now. It's all about knights, and the major heading is called the Knight's Code. But then I can jump down and see a smaller heading, sometimes called a subheading, and it's called the Code of Honor. And down here, talking about knights having true love and telling tales. So headings will let me know, well, what is this information, this paragraph going to be all about? What is this paragraph going to be all about? So a heading comes at the top and really will tell you the main idea of that paragraph or section. And headings usually have larger font, as you see here, all about fish, and sometimes even a different color font also. Now, in many nonfiction texts, the author will choose to have some of the words be dark, which we can call bold, or the letters look like they're sideways, and that's called italics, and sometimes in a different color. And that's for you as a reader to really pay attention to those words. So when you're learning the information, those words will be helpful. And most of those words that are in bold would likely appear in the glossary at the back of the book, where we saw that you would have the definition of some key words. Illustrations and photographs can help a reader understand what the text is about by seeing a picture, not just with words. And we know as good readers to definitely pay attention to those illustrations or photographs, because we can find key details that maybe were not in the actual text. I know my second graders are really great. Sometimes you notice details in the illustrations or photographs that even I missed when I read the book the first time. Now, some illustrations and photographs will have a sentence or two right next to it, and that is called the caption. I like to think about the word caption connected to the word capture, so trying to capture an idea of what the photograph or picture is showing you. You could also think about a baseball cap, how it often will show the name of a favorite team, so it's giving you more information. So if we have a picture of the planet Earth, then we can see what the author wants to tell us about that picture in this caption. Sometimes a caption could be surrounded by a box or a different color, but sometimes the caption's almost written over the illustration also. A diagram is very cool. It's like an illustration that has a caption, but instead of just one sentence or two about that picture, there will be almost like a label. So here we have a picture of a computer or a Chromebook, but we're seeing that there's labels. So this part is the keyboard. This part has the on and off switch. This part is called the monitor. So really explaining it with, as I said, labels. Let me see if I have another good example. Oh, this was a neat one, yeah. So this book is called Animals in Winter. It's neat because it is nonfiction, even though it has illustrations. And this picture is showing the woodchuck's home when it hibernates. And so I have a label here that is calling this part the sleeping chamber, the secret entrance, the main entrance, the mound, the tunnel drops. So really understanding this diagram also has a double text feature because we can call it a cross section, almost like since we can't really see underground, but kind of looking at it from a different angle and almost like we have X-ray vision. So that's another neat example of a diagram. A few more here. Labels. So labels are a part of a diagram. Sometimes you'll just have a couple labels right on top of a illustration or photograph. Text boxes, whatever you think of when you hear the word box, that's what it is. It has a box, sometimes in the shape of a circle or an oval. I know when we read Change Bankers, we had a lot of those did you know or fact file boxes that had a neat shape. But just giving you extra information, not a part of the main text. Well, this is kind of cool. So this is about Lloyd. And I see this text box down here is called a data file. So even though I have the main part of the text up here, which is almost in its own text box, then I know some extra information in a box down here. So pretty cool. Text boxes, again, make the reader a little more interested in reading the information. Sometimes there's so much information, and having different text boxes on a page can help organize that information, especially using headings as well. Maps. Have you ever seen a map in a book? We had one, I'm forgetting which text we did, but I know we had one that kind of helped us understand the location. Oh, Theodore Roosevelt. We had a map to kind of understand the historical context in knowing what was happening in the United States. A chart or a graph, we know we've used those in math, but a lot of times those are helpful in reading a nonfiction text. And that is it. So now, those were just a few. We have an example on your Google Slides. It's under the grammar section for Tuesday. And you are going to look at a few different text features. They're lettered. So text feature A, what is this? Text feature B, what is this? Text feature C. Now this kind of gives you a hint because it has a title at the top. Text feature D. Text feature E. Oh, this says it is subheadings. Oh, okay, so you could have these subheadings in a book. Grizzly bears, zoos, climate change, saving the bears. All right, so now you'll need to go through and think about, well, what are those text features called? I'm going to stop here, and I'd like for you to rewatch the video as I was going through. I did go through all of the text features that you'll have in your practice here. And I look forward to you then going into your own books and thinking about if you have any nonfiction books at home with text features. For number 8, let me just explain this. It says, tell why you think it is important to have subheadings in a nonfiction textbook or nonfiction book. I'll give you a little hint. So remember thinking about how there's so much information, especially about nonfiction topics, and the subheadings can help you as a reader locate information specifically about one topic in an organized way. So hopefully you can put that into your own words. Great job, second graders. I look forward to seeing your work, and keep up your good reading. And we will see you soon. Bye.